brought the other day by Honorable Right Honorable RAILA AMOLLO during an interview on NTV, where he went ahead to suggest, come the year 2027, we should abandon using voters' card to vote to using ID cards, because that is what identifies us as the citizens of the Republic of Kenya. I would love to hear your regards towards that matter of RAILA AMOLLO.
For your information, if you go to the archives of the things I said, I already have a legislative proposal to repeal the Elections Act so that Kenyans can be allowed to vote using their identity card. Today, if you want to identify yourself as Kenyan, if you appear before anybody or any organization that want to confirm whether you are a Kenyan or not, they will not ask you to produce a voter's card. They will ask you to produce a national ID card. For you to get a voter's card, you must produce a national ID card. A national ID card is a requirement on whether one qualifies to be a voter or not. If the national ID card is the principal document that confirms that an individual is a Kenyan, then why should we not use it to vote? In my amendments to the Elections Act, I want to change the definition of a voter's card and replace it with the national ID card. I want also to change the mandate of IEBC from voter registration and expand the definition of voter registration to include a process where they will liaise with the registrar of births and deaths to get the database of people who are registered as Kenyans, clean it out, and migrate the same to their voters database. There must be a link between the registrar of persons and the system of IEBC in terms of today. If a young man acquires a national ID card, those details are automatically migrated to the IEBC database. And then there were questions about when you are voting for a presidential candidate, you can vote from any constituency in Kenya. That is what part of my amendment also said. That when you are voting for president, you can vote from anywhere. And that because we want to migrate the database of from the register of births and deaths to the voters, then we are simply saying that IEBC will provide an opportunity for those Kenyans to update the areas where they prefer to vote from. If it's KIMILILI, then they will give you an opportunity to make that decision on whether you want to vote from KIMILILI constituency or Webuye East. In the absence of that confirmation, then IEBC will assume that we want to vote from your place of birth as provided for when you are applying to get your ID cards. Of course, when you apply to get your ID cards, you say where you are born, location, sub-county, and county. And we also want to make it clear that contrary to what has been happening before, the reason why many Kenyans don't turn out to vote for the president is because at the point of going to cast their vote, maybe they have not traveled. If they register to vote from KIMILILI constituency, for example, and maybe they don't have transport, they are living, working in Mombasa, don't have transport to travel from Mombasa to come and vote from KIMILILI. We want to change the law to make it clear that when you are voting for a governor or for a senator, you can vote from any polling station, you can vote from any constituency within that county. When we are voting for a president, you can vote from any part of the country because the president represents everybody living in Kenya. And anybody living in Kenya, you have a right to decide who your president will be. So, for example, if you registered as a voter in Kimilili constituency and you are in Mandera, then you should be allowed to vote for the president, participate in presidential elections, because the president serves all Kenyans. And if you registered as a voter in Kimilili constituency, you should be allowed to vote for a governor for Bungoma from anywhere, whether when you are in Bumula or anywhere, because the governor of Bungoma and the senator and the women rep will come to serve everybody living within the territories of Bungoma.
Two questions. You have made it clear that you will support Mheshimiwa Wetangula as a Kenya Kwanza principle. We are aware that around this region, especially he's being condemned for not achieving the 30% from the government. I don't know whether you are able to defend him on that or to actually spell out if the community or the region has got a 30%. Number two, can you just highlight some of the development achievements that you have made here? We have seen the Huduma, we have seen others. So maybe there could be others that we don't know that you could just let us know.
Number one, I have said that I'm going to have a conclave of about 10,000 people in the next 14 days. I have not said in the next 1 month or in the next 1 year. I have been very clear in particular that the conclave is going to happen within the next 14 days, beginning from today. And I look forward to assembling minimum 10,000 people so that we can have a conversation on very many issues, including the one that you just mentioned. But there is one thing that is very important that I want to say. There is no government that is bad. If you look at it in terms of providing development within our region, especially in the current political dispensation and the current governance structure of our country. Because number one, we have CDF that goes to all the 290 constituencies. That's number one. Number two, we have shareable revenue that is shared among the 47 counties in Kenya. Those are still the work of government. And lastly, the national cake that is in Nairobi, because of our laws, there is scramble for that cake from all the 290 constituencies. And every area, the Constitution has given them an opportunity to decide who sits on that table to ensure that the interest of the areas they are coming from are catered for. That is basically what happens. And we have had two opportunities. Opportunity number one is that Kenyans themselves will make a decision by electing their leaders who sit on the national table to advance their interest. The Constitution has also gone ahead to mitigate that in the event that those leaders who are elected slips on their duty and there is nobody negotiating on behalf of their people, it has also provided another legislation that compels the head of government to adhere to regional balance, gender balance, when they are forming the executive and all the appointment in government. The Kenyans made that decision to ensure that during that scramble, at least they have some kind of representation that are trying to push things to the area. And you cannot discuss you cannot say that William Ruto has not delivered to our region without also having a discussion about, does the leaders we elected to join William, does those leaders that William appointed to join him, have they put the interests of the people where they come from ahead of their personal interest? So that's a question. For example, if you look at my constituency, yeah, of course, currently, even if I want to be governor of Bungoma, but I'm currently a member of parliament for Kimilili constituency, yeah, the road which you have used to come here, you've seen I'm putting tarmac. You've seen the works are all going very fast. I don't make noise, but that this is a very rural area, and that tarmac is going up to Chepal. We have another also tarmac in Ushirika, there's part rural is going, so the two roads will join somewhere there. You get the point? I have put in about, I got 50 million to put up our Huma Center. Now it's a roofing center, so that the people from Kimilili, Mount Elgon, Webuye East, and Tongaren don't have to walk almost 20 kilometers to Bungoma town to get government services. In my constituency, there is no single school that is marbled. I faced there were about 18. I changed all of them. In my constituency, you will experience that in the villages, the first story building that is visible, that the people have seen, is a story building of a primary school, because that is where the foundation of knowledge begins to emancipate. You get the point? In Kimilili constituency, it is the only constituency in Kenya where I have said, and we are committed, that by June next year, the period which the courts said the CDF will lapse, in the Kimilili constituency, it could be among the very few constituencies in Kenya that are all our primary schools. We will have phased out all the old buildings that were built in 1960s and 1970s, and we will have tiled all our primary schools. We will have put capital and landscaping in all our primary schools. We have already begun.
So you're speaking about only Kimilili, or?
No, me, I'm speaking about Kimilili because you see, I am the member of parliament for Kimilili constituency, and I said, the way government operates, the constitution has given the people of Kenya an opportunity to elect their people through a ballot. The people will go to scramble for the resources in Nairobi on their behalf. It has also gone ahead to compel the executive and the president that when he is forming his cabinet and the executive, he must adhere to regional balance. What was at the back of the minds of Kenyans when they said those two things is they were alive to the fact that the national budget